Thank you for watching my hay bale blind video. I'm going to go through the steps it took to build this hay bale blind using PVC. First thing I did was I made myself a template or a jig. I also researched a bunch of materials as far as PVC, galvanized, hog panels to try to find usable things with price and weight. And I've listed everything here. Here's a sheet of everything that I used to build the blind using PVC, cellulose core, using some woven wire, the erosion control blankets, and then you notice at the bottom there I did use some plexiglass for the windows, some hinges, because windows, in my opinion, when building a blind, are really a difference maker. You can see I listed the prices on everything just to give you a good idea as far as what it cost for me to build this blind. The main thing you're going to need is a bunch of zip ties. So you can see here I started with a little bit of a diagram as far as what I was going to use to lay out my cut PVC pieces. The length at the bottom, the 45s, the 22 degrees, where I was putting the T's, everything like that. So here's going to be a picture of the door side and all the material that it takes to do that. Your cut pieces are going to be listed right there as far as the length of what they need to be. The middle section, you'll notice, uses the 4 ways because you're going to be joining the outer piece and the inner piece together. Then for the cross pieces, you're going to use 10 pieces cut at 31 inches a piece. And then for the outside frame with no door, you notice you're using 2 less T's in that particular build. Here you can just see that I'm gluing the pieces together. Using my jig as a holder per se, just so when I get the pieces glued, I can kind of run just a screw through some of the joiner pieces just to keep some strength to it. Here's what it looks like, all basically connected to my jig. And then you can see, I've got the outer piece done, and I'm gluing the middle section that's got those cross pieces onto the outer piece. Here's one particular door, and then to use that door I just used some leftover hinges from a household door that I had laying around. You can see here I did use some hog panels just for some strength. We had them laying around. Here's some contractor. This is what I wrapped the blind in, and you can see that if you catch this after about September, you can actually find this on sale, which saved me about 50%. I threw a tarp over the top to keep rain off, and then there's a shot of the erosion control blanket. Now the erosion control blanket was long enough that I could double wrap 2 blinds with the blanket that I bought. Once I had the frames up around the windows, I could use a wire cutter to cut that 14 gauge woven wire that I used to wrap my blinds with, making a simple 1x4 frame that I screwed to the plexiglass or screwed to the PVC frame, and that way I could screw the plexiglass windows and hinges to that. That's what the blind looks like with a double wrapping. I just use a circular saw to cut the plexiglass. The hinges I used, I ended up ordering some from Amazon. I could not find these hinges at a major box hardware stores, but I was able to find a few locally. You can see what the windows look like screwed to the frame with the hinges. Made them very easy to install. The side windows, I just basically used a spring clip to hold a piece of plexiglass up along the side windows because I didn't figure that I was really going to need a hinge to move those windows up and down. You can see the spring clips that I bought. I ordered right from Amazon. They work very good on holding those windows closed. I cut a simple slot in the framework of the wood and then drilled through the plexiglass, attached a rope, and that's what I'll use to open and close the main windows on the 2 sides. I just looped the rope up around through some of that woven wire. Underneath the frame I did screw some 4x4 runners so I could easily slide the blind and not put any stress on the PVC. Did end up cutting a sheet of green sheet plywood to use as a subfloor, which I'll later cover with carpet or a piece of rubber. I just use a bungee for the window. Seemed to be about the best. You can see I just hooked it to my utility vehicle to tow it into place. The eyelets that I put through the 4x4s didn't hold up very well, but you can see here the blind in position with the double wrapping, the windows cut, the windows closed. Does look very good. So I hope you enjoyed this, and good luck.